Hello lovelies, welcome to my channel. My name is Esther. In this video I'll be showing you how to draft off-shoulder bustier with a basque waistline, and it's a well detailed tutorial. If this is what you want, please do well to subscribe. Click on the notification bell to be notified. How to draft the upper bustier, off-shoulder bustier. So the first thing you're going to do is, this is a pattern paper. You would mark out your starting line. Okay, mark out your starting line, leaving about 2.5 or to 3 inches before marking it. So these are the measurements I'll be working with. I'll be working with a bust of 40, waist of 32. Okay, bust point of 8 inches. So the first thing we are going to do, I'm going to do right now, is on this starting line, is off shoulder, right? So if you're drafting off shoulder, you have to minus some inch, because the cloth is not going to start from the shoulder, right? So off shoulder, it depends on what the person wants. Like for instance, if you want it to be moderate, you can minus 5 inch. If you want it to be showing your cleavage, all right, you can minus about 6 inches. Okay, so either 5 or 6 inches, but 5 is perfect, unless you want your cleavage to be showing very well before you minus it. So now this 5 inch, you minus it and place that 5 inch on that line that you mark. So from that line, you will come down and mark your shoulder to chest, okay, shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, and shoulder to waist. All right. So to get the basque effect, that curve on the down, you add 5 inch extra. All right, you add 5 inch extra from your waist. Okay. Okay, so after marking the lines from the other side, then you also mark it on the center side. Okay, so that you will not make mistake while connecting the lines, so that it will be a very straight line. Okay, so you mark from the waist. Okay, from the waist, shoulder to waist I'm working with is 17. So from that waist, you add 5 inches. Okay, 5 inches is perfect for the basque waistline. So you add it and connect the lines together like you see me doing in this video. All right, so you connect the lines straight like so. So now, after connecting the lines, so the next thing you're going to do is to divide your shoulder measurement. The shoulder you're working with, divide it by, the shoulder I'm working with here is 15 inches. Okay, so shoulder is 15 inches. I will divide it by 2, which will give me 7.5. All right, 7.5. So I mark it and I'll connect it to meet with that chest line. Okay, so now after marking this one, the next thing you're also going to do is to divide the bust point. Like I said, I'm working with a bust point. That is nipple to nipple now. Working with a bust point of 8. Please ensure that you're going to measure your own clients. Everybody measurements are not the same. All right. So the bust point I'm working with is 8. So 8 divided by 2, that will give me 4 inches. Okay, 4 inches plus half inch for joining. Okay, that will be 4.5. So I'll mark 4.5 from up till down. Okay, I'll mark 4.5 from up till down. All right, so after marking it, and I will use my ruler, straight ruler, and connect it from that up till down like you see me doing in this video. So after connecting it, so it's time to impute our dart, the waist dart. Okay, so it's time to add our dart. Okay, so like I said, the bust I'm working with is 40. So 40, I'll be using 2-inch dart for 40. Remember, everybody's measurements are not the same. Okay, so it depends on the measurement you're working with, right? So you also know the dart that you're supposed to use for the measurement you're working. So I'll mark 1 inch on the both side. On the waistline, and on the underbust. Okay, and connect the lines together, 1 inch on the both side, on the center front and on the side, right? So I will connecting it to meet with the bust point like you see me doing. You can use your stretch ruler, you can also use your curve ruler. It depends on what you want. If you know your way around, you can use a stretch ruler, but if you don't know your way around, please get a curve ruler. All right, so after connecting it, so it's time to tighten our upper bust. Okay, our upper bust. So what you're going to do there, it also depends on what you want as well. So I'll be marking 0.75 on the both side. Okay, that one is not up to 1 inch. I'll mark it 0.75 on the both side. Okay, so I will also connect it to meet with the bust point, right? That is to tighten, that is the upper bust, that to tighten the bust, to give it a very good shape. Okay, to give it a very good shape, and make sure you blend the bust point area. Okay, after connecting it, I did not use a curve ruler, I just use a stretch ruler. That is why I said if you know your way around, you can use your stretch ruler, but if you don't know your way around, please use a curve ruler. Okay, so now, so I'll also take that line, that measurement that I took on the waistline, down to the basque measurement, that 5 inch I added for the basque waistline. Right, so this is it for the that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do right now is to start taking our measurements. All this that, all of them will be going out. Okay, all of them will be going out. So all this that is going to be cut out. They are going to be cut out. So any measurement you're taking, make sure you replace the dart. So if you take your measurement, you measure whatever you have on the dart and replace it, like the upper part. So what I have there, what I added was 0.75 on both sides. So you measure whatever you have there and replace it, because if you fail to replace it after cutting it, your material will short. It will short, in fact, it will short the material. So I replace it. So the new line I mark is what I'll be using now for the armhole. So now we are going to take our bust measurement. You divide your bust measurement by 4. The bust I'm using is 40, divided by 4 is 10. So I will measure what I have here. And also replace it. Right? Like I said, if you don't measure it and replace it, your material is going to short. In fact, it will short entirely. So I also added a 1.5 inch sewing allowance. You can add 2, you can add 2.5. It depends on what you want, right? So I will also go ahead and measure the curve the armhole. Okay, I'll go ahead and curve the armhole like you see me doing. So after doing that, I will go ahead and measure the waistline. The waist I'm working with is 32, divided by 4 will give me 8. Okay, it's 8 inches. So I will mark that 8 inches on the waist. I'll mark the 8 inches. So I will mark the 8 inches on the waist. 32 divided by 4 will give me 8 inches. So I'll place it and mark the 8 inches on the waist. And I'll also measure what I have there. Like I said, I mark 1 inch on the both sides. So that will give me 2, right? So I replace it on the waist and also added my sewing allowance, which is 1.5. Okay, so I'll be connecting the measurement from the waist down to the hip, like you see me do in this video. So the next thing I'm going to do right now to get the basque waistline. So what you're going to do is to slant it. Okay, you will see what I'm going to do right now is to place your tape or ruler like so. Okay, from that waist and slant it down to the 5 inch that you marked. Okay, that is to get the basque waistline. That is it for getting your basque. It's very, very simple. Okay, so if you notice this the upper part, it have rope on the upper part. Okay, so what you're going to do is to add 1.5 inch on the upper part. Add 1.5 inch on the upper part that you use and fold, just to fold it. You will fold it and insert the rope, just like the way you do when you want to insert elastic. you add 1.5 inch. Okay, you don't need to add much so that it will relax. 1.5 inch, just fold it the way you used to fold the edge, the hem of your this thing, and insert the rope. And the rope, please, is only in, I think it's only in front. The back doesn't have this rope, but if you want to add it on the back, but it's not necessary. But if you want to add it on the back, you can as well also add this 1.5 inch on the back side. Okay, and also extend the dart to the rope, to the inches that you added for the rope side. Okay, so the next thing is just to cut it out. The next thing is just to cut it out. Okay, it is very, very simple. Very, very, very simple. Okay, it is very simple. So you cut out the dart. You cut out the dart, like I said, that dart will be cut out. You trim out the dart. You cut out the dart. I hope you are seeing what I'm doing. You cut out the dart and the basque area as well. Okay, so this is it for the front cutting. Okay, so this is it. It's very, very simple. So what you're going to do is to just place it on your material, cut it, and start sewing. It is very, I've added everything I'm supposed to add. Okay, so now we are moving to the back side. So I'll be sending another video for the back. So the back part of this is actually the back part. Okay, so the one I sent to you before is the front part of it. So now this is the back part. So what you're going to do is also to get your pattern paper and mark out your starting line. Like I said before, you come down maybe from by 2 inches or 2.5 inch, then I mark your starting line, right? Don't mind me, my marker has finished. Okay, so I'll be using chalk to draft this one. I hope you will see it. Okay, it's visible. So now, after marking your starting line, you also do the same thing you did on the other one. You minus 5 inch and mark your chest line and your waistline, shoulder to waist, and you also add 5 inch for the basque waistline. Because I think the clothes have the basque on the back and the front as well. So you just connect your lines using your straight roller like you see me doing. Right, so after this, the back part of this cutting is very simple. It's just like a normal basic cutting. It's not hard, it's simple. Okay, so the back doesn't have any princess cut or whatever. It's just with a normal dart, right? So the next thing you're going to do is to add your zipper allowance. Okay, first of all, you add the zipper allowance before any other thing. So I'll be adding 1.5 inch zipper allowance. This 1.5 inch depends. If you're adding lining, you can use, well, if you're going to line it, you can use the 1.5. But if it's not going to have a lining, you can use 1 inch for the zipper allowance. So now, after marking your zipper allowance, then you rule it using your stretch ruler. So any measurement you're going to take now is going to start from that zipper allowance that you mark, right? So the next thing is to divide your shoulder. Like I said before, divide your shoulder by 2 and mark it, half of it. So okay, and after marking your shoulder divided by 2, then you connect the line to meet with the chest line that you mark, okay, to form your armhole, right? Okay, so the next thing you're going to do right now is to start taking your body measurement. Your bust measurement divided by 2, which I'm using 40 inches bust, which is 10. So I added 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. Remember I said the measurement you're going to take will start from that bust, from that line you mark for your zipper allowance. So also take your waist measurements divided by 4 and also take your waist measurement divided by 4 and add your sewing allowance as well. Okay, so and connect the line from your waist to your bust. Okay, and also place your tape and slant the basque area, the basque effect, like I did on the other one. So like I said, this one is going to have a normal dart. It's going to have the normal dart. There's nothing like princess cut on this particular one. Okay, it's going to have a normal dart. So what you're going to do for the dart is to divide your bust point. There is a nipple to nipple, which is 8 inch. Divide it by 2, it will give you 4, and mark it. Remember, the measurement you're going to take is from that 1 inch, 1.5 inch zipper allowance that you marked. Okay, it's going to start from that 1.5 inch zipper allowance that you mark. Okay, so just mark it around from the downside to the upper side. Okay, and connect it with your ruler, right? Like I said, this is a normal dart. I don't know if you know how to insert your normal dart, but it is very simple. So the next thing you're going to do on the dart side is to mark half inch on the both side. Okay, and connect it like an arrow, like slant it to meet with the upper side. The back dart is simple. It's not a princess cut. Okay, so this is it for the back cutting. The back cutting doesn't have any other much thing on it. It doesn't have much thing on it. So this is it. So the front, okay, if you leave it like this, if you after putting the zip, it will be going up. So what you're going to do is to come down by 1 inch, okay, and slant it like what you're seeing me doing. Slant it, okay. In this way, after putting your zip, it will relax. It will not be going up. So if you also want the rope to be on the back, you can as well add that 1.5 inch on the that I added on the front for the back, and fold it and insert your rope. But if you don't want with rope, you can just leave it like this and cut it out. The back pattern is very simple. The back pattern is, you at least you can cut the sleeve, but please, if you cannot cut the sleeve, you can also let me know so that I can show you how to cut a off shoulder sleeve. All right, so this is it. If you have any question, please do well to ask. I will answer it.